Sorry, David.
For years under Biden, investment firms focused on environmental, social, and corporate governance, also known as ESG. But with fighting spirit, attorneys general in Texas and 12 other states hit back with a lawsuit accusing some of the world's largest asset management companies of conspiring through climate activism to decrease coal output in their states.
Thanks to our pro-energy, no-nonsense president and his administration, the lawsuit now has the backing of the Department of Justice and the Federal Trade Commission. For more, let's bring in FTC Chairman Andrew Ferguson. Chairman, great to see you. Fill us in on what's afoot and next steps for the FTC joining forces with the DOJ in this.
Well, thank you for having me, and I think you nailed it. I mean, what the FTC under me and DOJ under Attorney General Pam Bondi and Assistant Attorney General Gail Slater did is carry out the president's pro-domestic energy agenda, fulfilling his promise to create American energy dominance. And the allegations against BlackRock and the other asset managers are really troubling. The allegations are that they bought large stakes in coal companies and then pressured the management of those coal companies in the name of ESG to drive down coal output, increase prices, which increase prices for American consumers, for businesses, and lined the pockets of the investors. So it's really troubling. So what's next in this lawsuit is there's a big motion to dismiss coming up, and what the FTC and DOJ said is that the court should let this suit go forward because it correctly gets the antitrust laws right, and most importantly, the Texas lawsuit still protects the important role of institutional investors in the United States. We love our institutional investors. They do really important stuff for the American economy. They help flow capital. They help people retire. But we expect that our institutional investors won't use their stakes and their power in companies to lead those companies to collude to hurt ordinary Americans. And that's what this suit is about.
BlackRock told Fox Business in a statement, in part, quote, as we made clear in our earlier motion to dismiss, this case is trying to rewrite antitrust law and is based on an absurd theory. Forcing asset managers to divest from coal companies will harm their ability to access capital and invest in their businesses and employees, likely leading to higher energy prices.
And in a statement, State Street told us in part, quote, this lawsuit is baseless, and we look forward to presenting the facts through the legal process. Additional filings do not change our assessment. Vanguard has not responded, by the way, to our request for comment, Chairman. So next steps on
look,
Go ahead.
I get that these allegations are troubling. I understand their responses, but neither the department nor the FTC nor the states say that anyone has to divest. All we say is that institutional investors, if they buy stakes in competing companies, that's fine. That itself isn't an antitrust problem. But what they can't do is use those stakes to drive up energy prices for ordinary Americans and to reduce output. President Trump, in an EO, said that he is committed to unleashing American coal as part of achieving American energy dominance. And driving down the output of American coal and driving up Americans' energy prices is just not consistent with President Trump's pro-American energy agenda. So this isn't about divestiture. This is just about making sure that we protect ordinary Americans and businesses and promote American energy dominance.
Let's talk more about fairness. Republicans have called on the FTC to investigate if Google suppresses emails to conservative subscribers. Now, they have great spam blockers, great control in Gmail, in their systems. What's this? What's the case? Is it true?
So we got the letter from congressional and Senate Republicans this week. We're a law enforcement agency. We have important rules about not disclosing details of ongoing law enforcement investigations. But what I can tell you is that I and my senior staff are taking these allegations very seriously. And look, this is part of a long history that we really saw on display in 2020 in particular of big tech firms wielding power potentially to injure consumers and conservatives in particular. And look, I don't know if the contents of the letter are true. But we're looking into it. But this is part of a long history. And I think, touching both on the Google allegations and on BlackRock, Americans don't ask much of big business. All that we ask of big business is that they make their products and services, competitively, fairly, and that they don't discriminate against people on the basis of politics, that they focus on making great products and services for Americans and focus on innovation and dynamism. So, look, we'll see what the facts bear, but my staff and I are taking these allegations very, very seriously.
Chairman, on that note, have you been paying close attention to the recent ruling from a federal judge regarding the violation of an injunction that she put in place regarding Apple and its App Store? It's related to the case, the Epic Games case versus Apple, and she found just recently that Apple violated that injunction. She referred a vice president at Apple for criminal investigation within the Justice Department for lying under oath, and even called out Tim Cook specifically. And I just wondered if Cook chose poorly is I think the word she used, but have you been following that?
Yeah, that's a private litigation involving Epic Games out in California. So we definitely have been following it. But look, the president, one of the president's priorities was making sure that the American economy works for all Americans. Big tech plays a role in our economy, but we have to make sure that big tech is behaving competitively and fairly. That's why we're in litigation as we speak against Meta, accusing them of having maintained a social media monopoly. It's why the Justice Department is currently in court against Google in 2 cases. We're in court against Amazon as well. So, look, big tech does important things for the American economy, but President Trump promised the American people during his election that he would make sure that they played by the rules, and that's what the FTC is focused on, is protecting Americans from big tech abuses where they happen.
Thank you, Chairman Andrew Ferguson. Great to see you, sir.